is up, everybody? Welcome back to Fangame Marathon. With me, I have
Hi.
Gradius player and Mario 64 ROM hack player extraordinaire, SuperViper.
Hi.
Yes.
I've got what's up? I'm gonna be bringing you one of the more classic Mario 64 ROM hacks, Mario 74, from all the way back in 2011. In fact, the game just recently celebrated its 15th anniversary just a couple weeks ago, I think. This hack has never seen a full proper run on Fangame Marathon, to my knowledge, so I'm gonna kind of show off what speedrunning this game is like and hopefully put on a good show for you. So, are we ready for a countdown?
Give me a countdown.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty, I'm using an auto splitter, so I don't need to actually manually start with my timer. Cool. Alright, so Mario 74 is one of the earliest SM64 ROM hacks to have an entire new custom set of levels. It was originally made by Lugmalord, like I said, in 2011. It has 151 stars in total, 31 more than the original game. I'm actually going to be running the 110 star category, which is equivalent to 70 star in the original SM64, where starter requirements cannot be skipped, so this is basically any percent, no major glitches, or whatever you want to call it. And so this category is pretty cool because it kind of lets you, it kind of shows off a majority of the game's levels and a lot of cool strategies within each level. One of the first big examples is actually right here. You're actually supposed to use a metal cap to press that underwater switch to make some boxes appear to get up here, but instead I'm going to take this crazy box into water. And then when you're in water, a crazy box is temporarily inert. And then when you resurface, the crazy box becomes active again, and you can use it to get up there. I really love that strategy. In most of the courses in this run, you're going to be seeing mostly non-coin collecting related stars, because coin missions in this game are usually pretty long. But we'll see a few other different types of stars throughout the game. There's not that many custom missions or that kind of thing in this hack. Again, this is very early in the days of SM64 ROM hacking, so a lot of the level design is just get to a certain part of the level and there's a star just kind of waiting for you. It really rewards exploration and platforming prowess more than anything else. So I'm going to be utilizing a bit of tech here. If you've seen speedruns of the original SM64, you might be familiar with this ceiling down warps. When you're underwater, swimming into a ceiling hitbox actually moves you downwards. So by clipping through that really weak floor there, I can swim into the ceiling hitbox of that cave and get down warped all the way into the cave. Very good time save for that star. I'm actually going to be doing something kind of similar on the next star as well, except without needing a punch, and with a slightly different kind of setup. I'm not entirely sure what the deal with this clip is, but yeah, there's just this wall up ahead here, and if you just swim into the right spot, you just get down warped, and you don't even need to use a punch to set it up to make it easier. And that's already 5 stars done. So in terms of the pacing, this hack's pacing is definitely very fast-paced. Stars are usually go by pretty quickly, especially in this category. In 151 star, there's a few more lengthier stars. Another thing I should probably mention is I'm playing on the fixed warps version of the game, which was released like 3 years after the original hack came out. And the only changes it makes to the hack are that every level now has an associated spawn point for it. In the original version of this hack, there was only 1 spawn point per overworld for every single stage within that overworld. So that greatly increases the travel time between levels and adds a bunch of time to the run. I'd estimate it probably saves about 10 minutes in this category to be playing on the fixed warps version, and it allows for a slightly different routing in terms of what stars you collect. So I think Skyward Slopes, this level, is a pretty good example of the kind of level design Lugmalord went for in this game. A lot of it is based on platforming and exploration, like I said before. And also, a common trend in Lugmalord hacks is he really loves to hide stars in places you would never think to look. So, like right there, for instance. Also, if you hear a lot of clacking, I'm sorry about that. I'm actually playing on a keyboard. And in case you're wondering how the heck is playing Mario 64 or any Mario 64 hacks on a keyboard possible, the current world record holder for all main categories in this game plays on keyboard, and he has records. He has the records by several minutes in pretty much all of the main categories. So, yeah, keyboard is totally a viable option for playing these games, even if it doesn't seem like it. It's actually kind of comfortable. It does have its limitations, though. I'll kind of get into some of those throughout this run. Thankfully, this hack is pretty keyboard friendly. So once again, this is another level where I'm just going to be collecting all stars except for reds and hundreds. There are some routes that actually do the coin missions in this course, and instead swap out some other stars later in the run for that, but I just choose to run on this route. Alright, one more star in here. Yeah, I didn't like that angle. Wall kicking up this tower can be kind of weird. I should probably go ahead and mention another pretty noticeable trait with this hack is its abysmal camera. So, again, because of how early this hack was in Mario 64 ROM hacking history, levels weren't really designed with how good the regular SM64 camera would cooperate with them in mind. So, for most of the hack, it's actually better to be playing in the Mario cam zoomed out view, and even that comes with its own problems. Because if you try playing in Lakitu cam, the camera just kind of does its own thing, and it's very uncooperative, and rarely ever helpful. So this is actually the first Bowser level. This is Bowser's Badlands Battlefield. A lot of the courses have really weird names. This is not intended. At least in the Extreme Edition version of the hack, that is actually the intended method to climb up those pillars, but not in this game. Although, actually, now that I think about it, there's actually a medal challenge, which is sort of unofficial achievements for this game that Lugmalord came up with, where you actually do have to do that. So, I guess it was intended after all, but poor planning. So here's the first major disadvantage that playing on keyboard provides, which is aiming cannons. So, because there's no analog control, anytime I press a direction on the arrow keys, which is the control stick for me, it acts as if I'm pressing the control stick all the way down. So doing very tiny adjustments, like for cannon shots, is really, really difficult. But thankfully, most of the cannon shots in this game are very forgiving. And there's not even that many you have to do in this run. So, as you can tell, the Bowser stages no longer just have red coin stars. In fact, all secret courses have a lot more secret stars added to them, which is where which is mostly where the 31 additional stars come from. And I'm actually not going to be getting red coins in either of the first two Bowser stages because, unlike the original game, red coin stars do actually kick you out of the level. So, and they're pretty slow to get, so just not worth it. So this level only has 4 stars, including red coins, so now all that's left for me to do is just the Bowser fight itself. The first Bowser fight is mostly unchanged from the original game. With the main difference being that the bombs are now a lot higher. But it's still incredible. It's still kind of easy to do, but you just need a little bit of extra strategy to it. I'm actually going to move Bowser a little bit closer. Okay. Probably needed a bit more setup for that than I would have liked, but at least I didn't miss the throw. And yes, I kind of grabbed Bowser from in front of him. That's just a weird thing you can do with the Bowser fights in this game. If you touch Bowser's tail and then stay within a certain distance of him, you can grab him basically as long as you're, like, anywhere next to him. It's really hard to explain. Pan and Coic actually has a short about it if you want to learn more about it. I think it's, like, called Grabbing Bowser It's Broken or something. So this is the second overworld, Tower of the East, and it's actually a secret course in disguise. So you'll notice it has a coin counter, which overworld levels normally don't have. And anytime I collect a star, it ejects me from the level, only for me to just respawn in it. So the routing here is actually really, really cool. And it has red coins in here. And thankfully, when you collect a star, when you have red coins, as long as it's a star from this level, you keep whatever red coins you had. So, again, it makes routing kind of fun here. Okay, this section's really, really awkward. It's really hard to back this up. There we go. Okay, I almost fell off there. That would have been really bad. Okay. Falling off there is very, very time-consuming. Because, Yo, Sugotu, thanks for the good luck. Sugotu is the world record holder, by the way. Oh, and I brain farted there. He's absolutely goated at this game. Definitely check him out. He just recently earlier today, he actually set the world record in the 50-star category, which is just a shorter any percent category. And over the past week or so, he's set like 2 world records in 151-star. So that's all the stars I'm going to be getting in this overworld stage for now. Now I'm going to be doing some secret courses, if I can do basic movement. So first I'm going to be heading to the Wing Cap course, the Lava Switch of Eruption. Just bear with me on the name here. And this star is kind of stupid. So how are you meant to find that star? I have no idea. You're very clearly supposed to go on top of that tower and then just jump down, but you can just fly into the hole like that. It's actually really tight to hit that, and if you bonk on the way into that hole, you just die. And then here I can actually do another text skip. Jump off the wing cap switch to begin flying, and then cancel the text box by grabbing that star. Alright, really hard jump coming up here. That jump's really hard because it's a very, very thin ledge you need to long jump off of. And continuing the trend of really, really hard to find stars. Like, no casual player would ever think to actually look there. This is the Vanish Cap course, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. It's known as the Dust Switch of Identity. And that thin path looks really, really terrible to cross, right? Oh, hey, look, here's a fly guy. It's actually possible to skip this without the fly guy, but it's really, really stupid, so I don't do it. And that is another thing that was actually intended by Like Malord. There's another medal challenge for that. Hello, Forever Park. So I need to hit the Vanish Cap switcher. I'm going to be using it for, I think, only 2 stars in this run are actually going to be using the Vanish Cap. Outside of, well, 1 in this level, 1 outside of this level. Actually, no, wait, it's 3. I'm stupid. Never mind. Ignore me. Also, the music in this level is the Song of Storms, but it's broken. It's really broken, so if you do anything that changes the volume of the music, and I just saved and quit. That was cool. That's actually one of the worst levels to save and quit. Okay, clearly I should just stop trying to not save. Let's try to get back on track here. Basically what I was saying here is there's not much custom music in this hack. For example, you may have already noticed that the overworld music is the flip side music from Super Paper Mario. So yeah, there's the Song of Storms music. And also amazing camera here. That is not me turning the camera, by the way. When I was doing those long jumps across, that is not me turning the camera. That is the game doing it on its own. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop not saving here. Doesn't really even save that much time anyways. I thought I was gonna kick the wall there. Alright, lost 24 seconds to gold. No big deal, I guess. Yeah, this is a pretty punishing speed game. I'd say it's not like unbearably, or like, this is not a Kaizo ROM hack by any means. The Extreme Edition is way worse, but this hack is pretty hard for like casual players. Okay, so that's a strat I don't go for in runs. It is possible to make that jump. It saves like 8 seconds if you can get it, but I'd say my consistency rate for that is probably like maybe 50% on a good day, so kind of sucks that I wasn't able to pull it off. I'm not going to attempt it again, because I don't have another backup star for it. So this is the intended path you're supposed to take for this star. Thank you for the good luck, DK Sus and Phanton. Hopefully I said those names correctly. So this is one of the routing changes between the fixed warps and no fixed warps versions. We actually get red coins in this level on the fixed warps version, in 110 star. In the no fixed warps version, this level is just getting back to this level takes way too long for the red coin star to be worth it. It's possible to clip through this pillar and clip through those pillars and die, by the way. Yeah, not many people really run this game these days. I'm one of the few people who actually runs it occasionally. So, skipping the entire slide, because, you know, that's fun. And there also happens to be a star on top of this hut, so, this is just a convenient time to get that. Yeah, this overworld spawn that you see right here, imagine that for every single course in this hub. And that's what the no fixed warps version is like. And then imagine that for every single hub world. So this is a System of a Town. Go ahead and get all your System of a Down jokes out of the way now. That is not the intended method for that star. You're supposed to go through this giant sewer system, do a bunch of swimming, and then do some platforming to get out. But you can just wall jump up there. And again, that is another metal challenge. I'm actually going to be doing another sewer skip here. This one is substantially harder. Oh, okay. Yeah, I messed that up. I had a really bad angle there. That should work. And then there's just nothing here. There's no invisible wall here to prevent you from going over and reaching this area. Yeah, and I think Sigo said today was his last day of running SM74 or something. I don't know if he's going to stick to that, but we'll see. This is one of the faster paced levels in the run, aside from that last star I did. The star's kind of good. Yeah, there's one box there that you can actually ground pound through, and that's how. And again, how are you supposed to find that on your own? I'm not entirely sure. Come on. Our here is kind of simple. Yes, I just kind of went through that chimney there. There's a lot of really janky collision on those houses. So this is the Haunted Factory, and we've got frantic factory music here. I guess Lugmalord is a very big Rare fan. That is once again not intended. So this is one of 2 stars outside the Vanish Cap level where I'll actually be using the Vanish Cap. And then this is actually going to be one of 3 courses in this run where I will actually be getting the 100 coin star. And it's kind of hilarious in this stage. So, I'm gonna get some coins up here. And then there's just a little cubby-way here. You're supposed to use a Koopa shell to get in here, but don't need it. And there's just kind of a blue coin switch here that just gives you a bunch of coins. It's kind of hilarious. And then I'm going to be going for a kind of tricky jump here. So if you get a first frame wall kick there, you're basically just dead. So you gotta be you have to kind of make sure that your wall kick gets delayed by at least a couple frames. So the next couple stars, I'm actually going to be climbing all the way up to the top of the factory, which you think would take a long time, but it really doesn't. Unless you screw it up. So up here, there's a secret wall that you need the Vanish Cap to get through. Yeah, this level has 251 coins, and believe it or not, it actually doesn't have the highest number of coins of any main course in the game. We'll see that course later on. And 80 of those coins, yeah, do come from that blue coin switch. I got a couple firsties there, so I was able to skip a ledge grab, and I wasn't expecting to. Nice. Getting that Boo kill means absolutely nothing, but it's always satisfying to do it. Yeah, course 13 has 255 coins, which is the maximum amount of coins that can be saved as a coin score. And I don't... It was probably intentionally designed that way. And that will be another level where I get the 100 coin star. It is also really fast in that course. So I forgot to mute live split sound effects before doing this run, so you're going to hear my gold split sound effect. Sorry about that. It's the extra life sound effect from Gradius Rebirth. Alright, there's another star in this overworld stage that I haven't gotten yet. It's just up here. And also, since this is technically a level and not an overworld stage, I can actually exit course from here. Which gets me back to the first overworld a little bit quicker. And here's the Metal Cap course. This level is the epitome of bad camera in this hack. You have to be in Lakitu Cam the entire time, because this entire level is encased in toxic gas. So if you go into Mario Cam at all, the camera just goes super high above you, and you basically just can't do anything. But also, this level is very small and compact, so I'm actually going to be getting all 5 stars here, including red coins. I don't normally skip the ledge grab there either. I'm gonna go for another tech skip here. Assuming I can actually make this jump back to the switch. Nice. Yeah, you can tell just how terrible the camera is. Imagine this camera in every level of the hack. And that's what Lakitu Cam is like in this hack, and that's why I play in Mario Cam for most levels. I got kind of greedy there with my long jump. I was trying to go for a late long jump there to skip another ledge grab. I think a lot of these stars kind of speak for themselves, though. Parallel. That is the reason I don't use the parallel cam version is I'm a serial purist. But I'm willing to, like... It's kind of hard to explain my purism, but I feel like playing with the bad camera is just part of the experience. There are versions of this hack with, like, quality of life enhancements like an improved camera. By the way, this is course 1. The reason I didn't do this course before was because some of the stars here require the wing cap. This star kind of has an interesting concept. There's a box over on those islands, but it's really high up. So you're supposed to start your flight from a higher location than a normal, such as the top of that thing. That's what I meant, Aglab, is that, like, I'm willing to stretch my definition of being a purist in some cases. That's not how I intended to get up here. Although, again, it is supposed to be possible because of metal challenges. Yeah, in Star Road 130 Star, I actually do course 1 as, like, the second to last main course. Just because I hate resetting in course 1 early. nice lag from my emulator there. That's a star that's easy to work for things to snowball if just one little thing goes wrong. I'm not entirely sure if that's how you were intended to get that star. You might have been intended to get it from above. That's slightly faster. I have a feeling I'm not going to PB with this run, but that's okay. Yeah, in the medal challenges, there's actually a medal challenge for getting that star while flying with the wing cap. This is a 30-star door, by the way, so I couldn't get behind it earlier. Technically, there is a way to get behind this door without opening it. But A, it's not allowed in this category, and B, that's really, really stupid. So here's Stalagmite Cave. This is a pretty fun level. Ah, I got a firstie there. I almost had that. I'll just get this star instead. Once again, that's a massive shortcut. Not what you're supposed to do. Like, if you mess up the initial setup, that jump becomes really, really hard. And because of the camera, it's really awkward to try to back it up. Okay, third time's the charm, maybe? There we go. Alright, next star I'm going to attempt actually has a pretty cool... I don't know if I'd say mechanic, but... in terms of, like, what you're supposed to do, I guess. So, here I'm actually going to be combining the metal cap and wing caps, which is not a combination you can do in the normal game. But notice how Mario's wings have a metal texture to them. That is not a feature added in this hack. If you were to combine the wing and metal caps in the original Mario 64, the wings would also have that metal texture. But it's impossible to do that in the vanilla game. Also, climbing across those boxes, there's like barely enough time to do that. And then this is one of the easier stars in the run. Once again, no reds or hundreds there, because they take too long. Here's Ice Crystal Tower, the obligatory snow level of the game. And unlike a lot of the other courses, which are more open-ended, in their design. This is a bit more of a linear level. A lot of stars require you to climb the tower most, if not all of the way up. There is a really, really, really stupid strat I could attempt here, but I don't feel like it, because I don't want to lose more time than I already have this run, so, go watch the current 110 star world record if you want to see it. Nice dropped jump there. King Womp is over on that pillar over there. I'm not going to be fighting him. Thank goodness. He's actually really difficult to fight in this hack. So in a surprising twist, I am actually going to be getting the 100 coin star here, along with the star you get from climbing all the way to the top of the level. It just happens to work out that both stars are really fast when you pair them together. Here I'm actually going to get extra coins by jumping on top of this Womp. This is another feature in the original game that you never see in vanilla speedruns. You can get up to 5 coins by jumping on a Womp's back, like that. So yeah, it's possible to climb all the way up here without the wing cap, but using the wing cap is slightly faster. Also, sometimes the fly guy just follows you all the way up here. My goodness. I've never had the fly guy follow me up here and actually be, like, within range for me to get hit by it. Like that. Classic marathon luck. That's never happened before, except it didn't really impact anything. I need to use this cannon to reach the upper area of this overworld. Again, it's possible to skip this cannon, but it's incredibly stupid, and I'm pretty sure it's banned for this category, so... And there's just a toad up here. There's also a Mips over here, and this Mips doesn't try to run away from you, so... You know, easy star there. For sure. I almost actually had a decent cannon shot there. I never know how to do that cannon shot properly, so I always bonk and it takes forever to recover. Anyway, here's Overheating Oasis. Kind of, sort of a desert level, but it doesn't really do the best job of acting like one. So, in general, when you're inside, like, really, really narrow tunnels in this hack, you want to be in zoomed-in Mario Cam, because otherwise the camera just gets stuck on everything. But the camera still gets stuck on everything. Because, you know, great camera. There's another very well-hidden star. I should also probably mention, I don't know how many of you are familiar with SM64 ROM hacks or have seen that before. That weird animation that Mario does whenever he exits a level, that is actually present in the original game. You just can't normally see it because it's hidden behind the painting. I'm surprised I backed that up. But yeah, it's very similar to the Bean Mario effect you get from cartridge tilting. If you're wondering why Mario does that animation, it's just the default pose Mario's body is in whenever there's no assigned animation value playing. Alright, I overshot my jump there. Getting the triple jump dive off of that structure is kind of awkward. At least I didn't miss that star. It's always really sad whenever you miss it. Okay. And then this is another course that really benefits from having fixed warps, because otherwise you'd have to take the cannon all the way back up every single time. This is not intended. Yeah, there's a switch in the labyrinth you're supposed to hit to make a block switch, to make a block up here in order to get that star, but you can just wall jump to it. Okay, and there's another MIPS that spawns after getting 50 stars, so you can go ahead and collect this one as well. And I don't really like how this run is going, so I'm just gonna go ahead and reset. So there is actually a purpose to me resetting there. I'll explain why later. And then this is the second Toad Star. This is just a convenient time to get it. So that's everything I'm going to be getting in the first overworld. So there's actually one more secret star in this second overworld here, and you're never going to guess where it is. So that is the sixth and final star present in this overworld level. Alright, so now I'm going to be moving on to the second Bowser level. This is Bowser's Aquatic Castle. Climbing up that pillar can be very awkward sometimes, depending on how much speed you get from the rollout. One advantage of keyboard is that a trick known as frame walking, which you may recognize if you've seen, like, A-button challenge tasks or whatnot. Frame walking is actually way easier on keyboard than it is on a controller, because you can just mash a direction repeatedly in order to get it. I love it when my jumps get eaten. Okay. Missing that is very, very punishing, because if you fall into the water, it takes like a minute to get back there. Again, I'm not going to be getting red coins here because in this level they take like 2 minutes. They're really spread out in this level. So that's all the stars I'm going to be getting. And the road to Bowser is thankfully very fast here. That's true usernames, but yeah, I guess that really would mostly just apply to emulator runners, because on N64 that's kind of banned. And I didn't get the Bowser grab, so this is really, really bad. Okay. There we go. That was me again using the weird tech of grabbing Bowser from in front of him. At least I didn't die there. Very close to dying. Okay, and then one more course before moving on to the third overworld. This is Flowery Gardens. There's a bunch of platforming in this little construction site up here. I guess that's what this is supposed to be. But, I'm just gonna skip all of that. I was actually gonna try to use a fly guy to skip that, but the fly guy didn't do what I expected it to do, so I just used that wall jump method instead. I don't know if there's much of a time difference between the two strategies. This is a kind of terrifying star and runs. Very easy to fall down when long jumping across that gap there. And it's a very, very big fall. Well, now we're not at 74 stars anymore, sadly. So how about climbing this windmill? Or just doing that? So there's a, as you saw from the first star name here, there is a King Bob-omb fight in this level. And the gimmick here is that it's on a very, very tiny platform. So, it's a bit harder than before, because you have to make sure you don't throw King Bob-omb off the platform. But it's King Bob-omb, so it's still not that hard of a fight. You can use that fire spitter to speed up some of the throws, but I just don't go for that. I might be able to avoid getting hit by the fire here. Nice. And then I'm actually going to kind of go a little bit out of my way for this last star here. So I'm pretty sure this is actually slower than just doing the star the normal way, but I'm going to get the star the flashy way because this is a marathon. So as you notice there, there's a very weird collision thing going on there, and you can use that to just kind of clip through into this cave. Also, you're going to hear my gold sound effect again. That was like a half-second gold. Okay, and now we're off to the third overworld, where the difficulty takes a very big jump upwards. We're going to start off with a Swampy Spring here, and the first star I'm going to be getting here, this is actually the reason why I reset the game earlier. For some reason, in a lot of early Mario 64 ROM hacks, entering certain courses causes objects that use waypoints, like Koopa the Quick, to just break. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's actually been figured out. So if I didn't reset the game after entering course 6, when trying to do this race, Koopa the Quick would just veer off into the water and never actually finish the race, and I wouldn't be able to get this star. And the only way to fix it is to reset the game. It's kind of silly, but that's just kind of how it is. So that's the easy star of the level. Everything else is terrifying. Because most of those stars require you to climb up these high, I guess, I don't even know what you'd call this, is structure. And falling down is very punishing. Right. So you need to make sure that you do that jump onto that tiny platform while the Hippo is stopped and facing away from you. Because even while it's on the ledge above you, it can still fling you off if you're on the lower ledge. So you need to actually be able to make the Hippo cycle there. One of the only places where cycles actually matter in this game. I can use Koopa the Quick's flagpole here for a little shortcut. This star is also really annoying. You have to make sure you don't ledge grab on either of the first two boxes, or else you can't get enough speed to reach the third. Yeah, it doesn't just happen with Koopa the Quick. It can happen with, like, bowling balls, elevator platforms, the penguin race. It can be kind of a mess. And continuing the theme of stars hidden in devilishly difficult to find locations, here's another one. So there's only one star in this actual overworld itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that. It's over here. I'm gonna go for this lava boost in order to reach it. This is the third and final toad of the game, or third and final toad star. Okay. So the next level I'm going to go to is known as the Cliff of Wrath, and it has the acronym COW, so go ahead and make all your cow jokes now. And this is another course that really benefits from fixed warps. In the no fixed warps route, you would only get 3 stars from here, but in this route, I'm actually going to be getting 5. In the Extreme Edition version, it's actually Cliff of Pain, and so it's COP, which isn't nearly as funny. Bro. that was kind of embarrassing. So you're actually supposed to use the Vanish Cap a whole, like, way further up the cliff in order to pass through that fire and break the block. But it's actually possible to kick above the fire and break the blocks that way without the Vanish Cap, which saves a lot of time. Uh-oh. Okay. I wasn't sure if I was going to make that jump or not. Yeah, and I think in 10 years after, it's called something completely different. I don't remember what its name is there. It's actually possible to skip a lot of the climb up the mountain for this star and the other one, but I don't know how to do it. And it's annoyingly difficult. I'm very happy with all the lag spikes I've been getting this run. So, for some reason, this is the level that contains a King Boo fight as opposed to the Haunted Factory level, which, you know, kind of fits more as the ghost-themed level, but there's just a big Boo fight here. And again, I'm not going to be getting reds or hundreds here either. So, I'm going to be using the wing cap to go to the complete opposite side of this area, to that pipe over there. So this is going to be the Champions Challenge, and I hope your right ear enjoys the music in this level. It's just kind of a platforming obstacle course. Oh, come on. That's so dumb. There we go. I don't know why I messed that the first time. So that's kind of the only star in that level. We don't talk about the other star that's in that level also. So here's Sunny Beach, the worst level in the game, but we won't see the full extent of that in this category. So in 151 star, this course is amazing because this level has exactly 100 coins in it, and Lugmalord went out of his way to make it one of the worst 100 coin stars ever. But the 100 coin star takes about 6 minutes, so obviously it is way too slow for 110 star. That chain of wall jumps saved like a second or so over the normal way. Also, there's a big bully fight here. And then another gimmick of this level is that besides the 100 coin star, all the other stars are supposed to be really easy, but the hints for them are all swapped around, and even then, they really don't help you at all. Fortunately, I was not able to completely skip going in the water there. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of bullies in this level, and there is a single pit of lava that you have to maneuver all of them to in order to get their coins. And it's as tedious as it sounds. And there's a blue coin switch that spawns 3 blue coins, and even with task level movement, you can just barely get all 3 of them in time before the switch runs out. It's horrible. Thank goodness we don't have to do it in this category. So up next is the Molten Treasure Chest. I'm not entirely sure if there's supposed to be an intended way to navigating this level. You kind of just have to use a lot of lava boosting and climbing up slopes. And flying, I guess. That's a really difficult star to get, because you need to enter this cave with a lot of speed so you can zoom upwards like that. Also, in this, like, little area, every single level has the same spawn point, and it spawns you right in front of the door, so you have to jump and kick away from the wall in order to actually avoid opening the door by accident. And they all have really bad camera angles. Nice. So, like I said earlier, this course actually has the highest number of coins out of any of the 15 main courses at 255. And that's actually the maximum coin score that can be saved in SM64. Because it's only stored as an 8-bit value. I don't normally do the star this early, but I kind of messed up my movement, so... I could have saved a little bit of time there by going for a ground pound, but that would have probably backfired on me. So, I didn't bother. Alright, so... As I mentioned earlier, I will be getting the 100 coin star here, and I'll be actually pairing it with the secret star. There's each of these little mountain tops has a secret on it. So, a big reason why this course has so many coins, or at least a big source of the coins, actually comes from 2 blue coin switches that each give a crap ton of coins. That's fine. As you can imagine, I have plenty of coins to spare, so missing that 1 blue coin isn't a huge deal. Hopefully I can get all these blue coins. And I already missed one. Okay, I got the rest. So, ideally I wouldn't have to get any backup coins here, but... that was not the case. Otherwise, not too bad. Oh, I forgot which star I was doing. In 151 star, you actually pair the 100 coins with the red coins in this level, and that's where the red coin star spawns. This is another star that's not necessarily difficult, but it can be tricky to learn. You have to go underneath this very, very tiny alcove here. And ceiling hitboxes actually extend lower than they visually suggest, so that flight is even tighter than it looks. And now we get into where this hack takes an absolutely absurd difficulty spike for casual players. The courses 14 and 15 are absurdly difficult compared to everything else in the game. Nowhere near as bad as anything in the Extreme Edition, but still really, really hard if you're not, like, into the game. So these two levels are sort of based around the stone tower from Majora's Mask, as evidenced by the music. Course 15 is actually supposed to be Course 14, but upside down. I'm just doing them in the reverse order, so you can't really tell. And these courses are a real test of Mario's platforming ability. Umbra Sphere in particular is a really nasty course to navigate, but fortunately most of the stars can be accessed just from the very beginning of the level, so they're pretty quick. It's actually possible to skip going all the way around for that star, but it only saves a couple seconds, and it's kind of awkward. So those are the easy stars. At least in this course. Now we get to the annoying ones. Starting with Intense Challenge. So there's just 5 secrets there. That's not too bad. Getting to the star is the problem. This is not the intended way to get here, by the way. It's just way, way easier than what you're supposed to do. It's not really faster or anything. It's about the same speed. Again, it's just easier and more consistent. And then the last star here, I'm either going to get first try, or it'll take me like 5 tries. Because I'm going to be going for an incredibly stupid strat here. Hopefully I get it first try. I already have no faith in this. Wow, I actually got that. So there's an axe-specific wing cap that spawns for that star that you're supposed to use. But you can just barely get it without the wing cap with a perfect long jump and wall kick into that alcove. Saves a huge chunk of time, but it's very, very difficult. And then here's a Luminium Sphere. This is what Course 15 is based on. And this level, in general, is a little easier to navigate, but the stars are a bit harder to reach. They take a little bit longer. Yeah, it's 20 seconds of time save, which in this hack is pretty huge. So I'm actually going to go that way again for the other star here. This strat's kind of awkward. Nice. So again, that is a massive shortcut, and also just a much easier way of getting that star. It is a little bit awkward, because you have to make sure you don't ledge grab on those sloped surfaces when wall kicking up there, and also that you don't slide off, but if you can get that, it's a huge time save, and definitely an easier alternative than the intended method. So, originally, in speedruns of this hack, it was thought that an alternate path for getting the star was faster, which involved going to where star 2 was, and then jumping down here. but... And that was how runners would do the star for years, and then it was discovered that doing the star the intended way is actually several seconds faster. Kind of silly how that worked out. And I know I'm probably making these courses look easier than they are, but trust me, these courses, if you're new to this game, you will die a bunch of times trying to get the stars in both of these levels. They are just really, really hard, and the coin collecting missions are really terrifying. So when wall kicking on these boxes here, I need to be careful to not get first frame wall kicks. Or else the boxes kind of push Mario downwards, and it's very hard to recover if that happens. I said several seconds, but that's probably not far off from how much time it saves. Probably because the intended route for that star is kind of annoying. So runners were just used to taking the easier path. Oh. So, what happened there was I pressed Control, which is my key. Okay, I have never seen that before. I pressed Control and C, which respectively are my R and B keys at the same time, and that's the hotkey to open up the Game Shark Cheats menu. I really need to find a way to disable that. Or at least change it to a different keybind. Okay. Probably shouldn't have gone for that risky wall kick there, but it worked out. And that's all 110 stars that I need to reach the final Bowser level legitimately. So, this level contains the biggest skip in the run, and probably the whole game. You're supposed to go through this massive gauntlet of completing one path, taking a shell, going down another path, and then opening a cannon just so you can reach the end of the level. It takes, like, over 2 minutes, but I'm not going to do any of that. You can just use wall kicks to get through these holes instead of using the cannon. That legitimately saves, like, 2 minutes. As you can see, I'm already at the end here. And then final Bowser fight, as you can see, there's some more fire, and the arena's already broken down into a star shape, so it's harder than in the original game. I am notoriously bad at Bowser throws, so I'll probably miss a couple here. Never mind, they're free. This is actually really, really close to PB, which is surprising given that the first half of this run was not that great. But time is going to be coming up soon. It's when I grab the Grand Star. And time... Oh, no. I hit the wrong keys. That was like a 1:13:21, I think. Yeah, so that was like less than 15 seconds off of my PB, which is kind of sad. But just goes to show how much improvement I have in this category. Or how much room for potential I have. Or how much room for improvement I have in this category. Jeez, I can't talk. Yeah, that was Mario 74 110 star. I had a few blunders here and there, but I think I was able to end the run on a pretty solid note. Those last 3 splits were really good. And I hope at least it was entertaining and that you were able to get a feel for... This hack is definitely really fun to speedrun. It's got a massive learning curve to it, I would say. It can be pretty daunting, especially the last few stages, but once you kind of learn it and get consistent at it, it's really fun. I would definitely recommend it to anybody who wants to get into running Mario 64 hacks. And by the way, I lost 12 seconds to lag in that run, so thank goodness I use in-game time now. But yeah, that's all for me. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Fangame Marathon, for having me. And I'll throw it back on over to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, SuperViper, for that great showcase of 74. Got to see a lot. I played this myself a couple months back, and yeah, it's still just as fun as I remember it being.
Yeah, it's a hack that's aged really well, I'd say.
It really does. It doesn't look like it would have aged well, but trust me, it actually is.
It's really fun.
Yeah. All right, up next we have our first Celeste run of the marathon. It is going to be a 2-person Deathlink run of Celeste T-. We'll be back with that in just a few minutes, so stay tuned.